Good morning and welcome to the next episode of the Grey Nomad Knits. I'm coming to you from Perth, Western Australia, and my name is Jill. I live here with my hubby, one grown-up daughter. The other grown-up daughter is also living in Perth. And we also have my daughter's dog here with us at the moment, who may or may not make an appearance. It's a bit bittersweet this morning. It's found out that a very beloved uncle of ours has passed away. I think he was 91, so thinking of him and his family today. Right, the weather. Oh, winter has returned and it's been, oh, hang on a minute. Hello, Gitchy. Oh, she's down here. You might get to see her later. Yes, yesterday we had, big storm was forecast, but it was just pretty windy and quite a bit of rain. And then last night it was really windy and the wind has now died down. I'm looking out my window, but there's lots of big heavy black clouds around. But our temperature is cool enough to wear winter knits. Yesterday I even wore my Marie Wallen Wild Rose jumper, which was an absolute treat to be able to do in October. After such a mild winter, we're now getting some cool weather. But I know it's only going to last a day or two, and I think we're back into the mid-20s by the weekend. But today is Thursday, 2nd or 3rd, I've lost track of the dates, of October. So as you can see, before I start, I want to thank you to all my new subscribers and for all my returning subscribers and all viewers of my channel. Thank you so much. Just a quick word on my channel going ahead. I'm not going to go down the path of having any patron pages or anything or paid for subscriptions, purely because this is just a hobby for me. So I hope that you don't expect really professional content, because you certainly won't get that by visiting my channel. But I hope you enjoy what I show you, and I'm really just sharing with you my love of all things yarn related and my sewing. If there's anything else you'd like to see on my channel, please throw me a comment down below and we'll see what we can do. Okay, all right, so as you can see, I have a finished object. I'll just stand up so you can see it a bit better, but I have taken some photos. But this morning it's very gloomy outside, so I don't know how they're going to turn out. But anyway, here it is, my Yorlin cardigan by Kate Davies in all its glory. I have got a t-shirt on underneath today. Now I just want to show you the close-up. You can see if I zoom in, this is where I did the extra sleeve increases to give me more room in the bicep. And look, I'm so glad I did, because I've got plenty of room. It's really comfortable. I'm actually so happy with the fit of this cardigan. It's the first time I've ever really, shame on me, knitted a tension square, and I'm really glad I did. Now the yarn is from a local to me dyer called Dyeing to Knit Yarns, and I'll put the link down below. Her name is Michelle. She does beautiful yarn, and I'm doing another big project in some of her yarn, which I'll show you in a minute. The pattern was really well written, and I'd even make it again. I wish I had just made it this much longer, but it's okay. I'm really happy with it, and to wear with a skirt, it's going to be a perfect length. But for my jeans and that, I like to have it just a whisker longer. So if I made another one, I would just make it an inch or two longer. But overall, I'm really happy with it. The fit's perfect. I got my buttons. They're just plain ones, as you can see. And I'm actually really happy with it. And there's not too much gaping, which I'm happy about. And yeah, it's already been getting worn a lot. I think I finished it a week ago, and even although we had a 27, 28 degree day the other day before this weather hit, it was still cool in the house. So I've been getting a lot of wear out of it already, and I think it's going to be a staple. I'd highly recommend the pattern. I think it's in her book, Kate Davies' book called Inkling. but I think you can also buy the pattern as a standalone pattern on Ravelry. Okay, this is going to be a fairly quick podcast today because, yeah, I'm a bit upset about Uncle Dave. Right, works in progress. I've got one here sitting on the table staring right at me. This is my beach walk blanket by Marion from... I always get it wrong. Let me see if I've got it on here. Knit thread paint knit. I'd better have a look. Just a minute. It's by Marion at Wool Thread Paint. That's the one. She's got some really lovely blanket designs on her website. So yeah, go and have a look. I'm doing, yes, the beach walk one, but I'm not using the suggested yarn. I'm using fingering weight merino that was dyed by Michelle here at Dyeing to Knit Yarns. Now, I think the last time I showed you I had a whole pile of granny squares. Well, I have now joined them. Now, the colours are a little different to the pattern because when Michelle bought her pattern, because she's crocheted this as well, and then I bought my pattern, we bought them some time apart, and what we didn't realise is that Marion has done an update. So the pattern I bought has got the new colours in it, but the colours that Michelle dyed for me are the colours for the old pattern. They're mostly the same, but the reason Marion changed them was because some of the colours became discontinued. Probably the biggest change is this one I'm working with at the moment. It says to use the grey to join these squares, which I'm doing, but in all the pictures it's a much darker grey. It's more like the graphite, but then it also uses graphite elsewhere in the blanket, so it must be still different to the graphite. But I'm going to stick with the grey, but this is all I've got, so I think Michelle's going to have to dye me up another skein. But I'm going to show you because I'm so happy with it. Look at this so far. And that's all the minis. The minis are really fiddly to do because they're just one round of the granny squares. So they're very fiddly, but I'm really liking how they're turning out. So I'm just in the process at the moment of attaching all the minis around the edge. And then I move on to the next bit. How pretty is that? And I'm actually loving the kind of muted tones that Michelle has dyed. So there's nothing too standy out. I was a bit worried about this tomato colour down here, but even that's kind of muted. This is my palette. Oh, I just dropped one. When you make the sorry, I just bumped my camera. When you make the minis, you put them all onto a knitting needle, so they're like a kebab, and they're all in the correct order. So I just keep taking the next one off as I go. I've actually got two of these. There's another one over here. And she suggests that when you do these, you tie off the middle thread, pull the circle tight and sew it in, but leave the outside ones. Because you're working with such a small area, if you sew both the threads in, both yarn tails in, it can distort the stitching a bit. So it's better to do these outside tails once you have attached them to the blanket. And that's what I'm doing. So this first row that I attached, let me just find them again. I have already sewn in all the ends. So I'm attaching one side and sewing in the ends because I don't want to have hundreds to do all at once. So it's looking really pretty. What do you think? I'm really, really loving it. Can't wait to get it on to the next stage. So it's all done in steps and stages, and it's such a beautiful project to work on. When I rotate my projects every night, and when it comes time to work on this, I get all excited. I've just dropped my wool and the dog is walking through it and pulling it away, so just let me get it. So that's the Beach Walk blanket by Wool Thread Paint. Marion lives in Scotland, so she will get plenty of inspiration for all her beautiful projects up there, I'm sure. Okay, moving on. I think last time I said to you I picked out the yarn to make a new pair of socks. and I caked it all up. My yarn winder behaved itself fairly well with this one, but I have bought one of these new electric ones, so next time I wind up some yarn, we'll see how it goes. I'm keeping this in my Doctor Who bag because the colours kind of go. I'm such a creature of habit. I've got so many beautiful bags, so I rotate them as well. So when I finish a project, that bag goes to the bottom of the pile. This was the next one on the top. I don't really like Doctor Who, but my husband loves it. Okay, so these socks, I'm just doing my standard, what I do, 20 rows of rib. Look at this colour, and this is exactly what the colour is like. Now, just bear with me. I want to go and get the little book. I've put my own, I'm making up my own design. It's not really a design. I've just stolen a pattern out of one of my stitch pattern books. I'm just going to go and get it so I can show you. Right, I have this book. It's called 250 Knitting Stitches, and it's by Debbie Tomkes. And there's some lovely stitches in here. There's lacy ones, there's cable ones, there's and textured ones. And I decided this time I wanted to go for a bit of texture because I think this sort of yarn looks really nice with some texture. So I've picked out, it's a bit of a slip stitch pattern, and it's called Deep Rippled Waves. It's this one here. So if you have this book, it's pattern number 198 on page 133. I'm just watching my computer. I'm trying to boot it up to pick out my next yarn, but it's doing weird things and taking a long time, so I hope it's ready to go by the time we're ready. So this is a really nice pattern. Now, the only worry I have is that it's a little tight. So I've got my normal 64 stitches, and I think I had to do more rows for this one than I normally do. I think I did about 70 rows for the leg, and this is how the pattern's looking. Can you see it? It's really pretty, but it will fit, but it's going to be a bit of a tight fit, but that's fine. These are all superwash wool, so socks loosen up a bit the more you wear them. So I've done my heel flap. I still find a heel flap and gusset is the best fit. I've also turned the heel, and I'm now doing the gusset stitches. So you can see here that lovely gusset starting here. So I'm really happy with how these are turning out. Probably won't get to wear them now till next winter, unless this weather continues for much longer. But look, I've still got so much yarn. Isn't it funny? It's like I was going to knit these concurrently, but because my ball winder was doing such a good job, I didn't want to risk it by stopping it and starting again. Having said that, I think it is actually better for doing smaller cakes anyway. So I don't know, but anyway, next time we'll try my new one and see how it goes. But yeah, so I'm just doing one sock and then I'll move on to the next one. But once I get onto the foot, it doesn't take very long. All the fiddly bits are done. So yeah, I'll be working on some more on that over the next week. And of course that will soon be finished. So I will definitely have to pick out another project while we're here today. But before we do that, I have one more work in progress to show you. I'm making really good progress on my Esther cardigan. So I did a tension square, and I was excited because I got the exact stitch count and stitch height as well, you know, rows and stitches across. So I was absolutely delighted because it wasn't the recommended yarn. But I'm so happy with how it's turning out. So just a reminder, it's this pattern here. Now I think you can only get this in the Rowan magazine. I don't think you can get it as a standalone pattern. So it's Rowan Knitting and Crochet magazine number 57. I'm sure you can get it from the Rowan website or on eBay or somewhere. Even your local knitting store may have a copy still. Okay, so that's the pattern. Now I'm keeping this in my beautiful bag that I bought when I was in Tasmania a few years ago from the Lavender Farm at Port Arthur. Isn't that just gorgeous? And it's a great size bag for keeping a jumper weight. So with this, I'm using the Rowan Soft Jack DK yarn, which is absolutely beautiful. It's such a nice colour. And look how much I've done. After doing a fingering weight cardigan, I'm finding that this is just moving along so quickly. I keep glancing at my computer. I'm going to have to go and try and get my Excel document up in a minute. So look at this. Now it looks a bit gathered on the ribbing, and that's because you use a larger size needle here, and then it's got a bit of waist shaping. So all you do is for the middle section, you go onto it's the same amount of stitches done on a smaller gauge needle. So, and then I've just gone back up to the larger gauge needle. So it's coming along really well. This is the back, and yes, this is knitted in pieces. So it will be seamed, but I don't have an issue with that at all. Sometimes I think you actually get a better structure. You don't get any sort of twisting of the garment, no jogging anywhere. So all the pattern will flow really nicely. It's got a really unusual feel to it. It's really nice. It feels very soft. Doesn't feel like it's going to have any itchiness to it at all. So if I'm really happy with how it turns out, I may have to make some more garments with this. The ribbing is a little bit uneven, but I think that's because of the nature of the wool. It's like a chainette construction. Can you see? And it's got quite a bit of stretch in it. But I think when it's washed and blocked or whatever, it's going to be lovely. We were talking about blocking at my knit night the other night, and it's really funny because my grandmother, God bless her, she was born in 1902 or something. She died a long time ago now. She was only 76 when she died. But I always remember that my grandmother was a beautiful knitter. She knitted many garments for myself and my sister and my brother when we were little. And there was nothing ever called blocking in those days. I think she used to just put a damp tea towel over and give it a light press with the iron. And that was all she did. And that's what I used to do when I started knitting, because I did everything the way my grandmother did. And I used to find that evened out the stitches beautifully. So I may even do that with this, see how it goes. We don't have any trouble getting stuff dry here in our climate. When I'm blocking something, I put my big foam mats on our outdoor table under our patio, and I just do it there, and even when it's a cold day it seems to dry quite well. But sometimes it's a bit of a palaver, and if you're having people over for a barbecue, you want the table, and you know, so we'll just see how it goes. But I know lace is definitely going to benefit from some sort of washing or pressing. Or, look at that, it's so different when you stretch it out. See? Magic. But I'm really enjoying this, and I'm absolutely loving the colour. And it's another project that when it's time to knit on this, I get all excited because I absolutely love it. The pattern is by Sarah Hatton, and you can check out her website. She has some beautiful, you won't find this one on her website because it was a collab with Rowan, but she has some beautiful patterns, so check her out. That's my Esther cardigan. And now it's time to pick some yarn for my next project. So I'm just going to go and see if I can get this document loaded up. Okay, here we are. I've tried to move this around a bit so that you get a better view. Hope it works okay because it took ages to load up. So just let me go. Once again, I don't want to pick a big project, so I'm looking for something small. So let's just go down here and see what number we've got to go up to. Oh, I've got so much there. Look at it all. One day I'll find some gaps in my... One day, my dream is to find gaps in my plastic crates so I can condense them. Okay. Now that pattern I would like to do, I might actually just include them all because there is one or two small patterns in there. So we're up to, I don't want that one or those. It's probably just that one actually. So 241 we're going up to. So we're going from 1 to 241. Okay, we're ready. Let's hit generate. So we're up to 121. Okay, hopefully it's in a different crate to the last time. You'll all be getting bored with the same crate. 121. That's another Attic 24 crocheted blanket. So we're going to have another go because that's going to take a long time, and because I like to come to you people with some progress every month, I don't really want to start another blanket while I've got a blanket and a jumper already on the go. So let's just go again. 200. Let's see what that is. Down, 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 down. Oh my goodness, it's another Attic 24 blanket. You can see I did buy a lot of her kits when I was back in my working days, and they're all in that wardrobe over there. Let's look for another one. 23. I'm sure this will be better because I think I had a lot of my smaller skeins further up. 23. Let's fill that in. That is some very neutral coloured yarn which I bought with the intention of making some socks for my man. So that will be a very nice change for him to get something. So let me just find them. They're over here in my bookshelf. So bookshelf number 2, I think that meant drawer number 2 or shelf number 2. Let's take you over to have a look. So here we are over at my lovely bookshelf. One day, this is my aim, to have all my yarn stash fit into this cabinet. I'm dreaming. We've got a movie in the castle in Australia called The Castle. It's a really iconic movie, and it's like, tell him he's dreaming. So tell me I'm dreaming. But here we have drawer number 2. Look at all this beautiful yarn, and look at this colour. Oh yes, it's a West Yorkshire Spinners, and it is the signature 4-ply. I'm going to sit down so I can show you this without the camera shaking. Right, so it's the West Yorkshire Spinners signature 4-ply. The colourway is Juniper, and it contains 35% blue-faced Leicester. So that's going to make beautiful socks. So it's 75% wool, 25% nylon. I'm just looking to see a bit more information for you. It's a 100-gram ball, and it's 400 metres or 437 yards. I remember buying this from Wool Warehouse in the UK. They they have a beautiful range of yarns, and their delivery to Australia is excellent. And it always comes in those beautiful little organza bags, which I keep because they're so useful for so many things. Yep, so that's going to be the next pair of socks. Oh my goodness, I just want to eat it. It's beautiful, and it smells divine as well. So once my current socks are finished, these will be going on the needles. I did have a cardboard cutout of John's foot somewhere, so hopefully I won't have to keep measuring him. But yeah, I'm not sure what pattern I'll use yet, but I'll definitely have to do the 72 stitches for him. And he might get them wrapped up under the tree for Christmas. Anyway, that's everything for now. I hope you've enjoyed my little corner of the universe here, and I hope you're all having a good day. I'm very aware of all the trouble in the world at the moment, and my heart goes out to everyone over in the Middle East, in the Ukraine area. No matter what side of the fence you're on, it's just devastating for all parties concerned. So my thoughts are with you all, and I hope you can all stay safe. and I'll see you all in about a month's time. Might be a little late as we're going away in the caravan. So, oh, that's another thing. We're going away in our caravan next year. We're doing the big trip to the eastern states. So we're probably going to be away for about 4 months. So I don't want to completely hibernate my little corner of YouTube here. I'll probably do some vlogs or something. But for now, it's cheerio, and we'll see you next month. Bye.